Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh. We're here in the Laurel Highlands visiting a historic hotel. This is the Historic Summit, and it's been here since 1907. And we're here to chat with Karen Harris, who's the second generation. Your parents bought this hotel many years ago, and you're still one of the owners.
I am, absolutely. When my parents passed away, I became the owner, and now my daughter Amanda is third generation here.
That's so cool. Well, let's go right in. And you say that sort of walking in the hotel is probably the same experience you would have had over 100 years ago.
This furniture in the lobby is actually original furniture from 1907, all the Stickley furniture. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, maybe President Harding sat in the same spot, so that's kind of fun.
That's crazy. And since, I mean, you're the second generation, does that mean like you were a little kid running around this hotel?
I actually was a little bit of a hotel brat. My parents moved here in 57, and back in those early days, a lot of people came for a week at a time. And I used to sit on these front steps that you just walked up. And when I would see someone my age, I'd say, "Hey, want to play?" The old hotel style was people stayed for a week at least. And we used to have a social director that was here 7 days a week. And she would start planning the day by raising the flag in the morning, the American flag out in the front here. And we'd have bingo and dance contests and shuffleboard contests and ping pong, simple things. Like today, it would be totally different. But we stopped all the social directing probably in the 70s, I think it was.
And speaking of entertainment, sort of below us was your sort of main entertainment venue.
It was. It was the famous Baron Munchausen room, and there was a group called the Baronaires, and they played 5 nights a week. There used to be a big bar around here that had pennies on it.
Uh-huh. And then where would the band be?
The band was on the stage over here.
So this little stage fit the whole band?
That little stage, there was a drummer. They didn't have all the big speakers that they have nowadays. It was the real thing. The drummer and the singer, and there was a horn player.
And is this the original dance floor?
That's the original dance floor, yes.
Wow. So I'm sure tens of thousands of people have danced on that.
I'm sure they did, yeah. So we call this a sunset room, and you can see town from here.
And which town are we looking at?
We're looking at Uniontown. On a clear day, you can actually see the Pittsburgh Steel Building.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is our indoor pool.
How long has this pool been here, this indoor pool?
The indoor pool's been here since about 1980. The outdoor pool was replaced 4 years ago. And the original outdoor pool was made by Pittsburgh Des Moines Steel Company, and it lasted about 60 years, I guess.
That seems like a long time for a pool.
It's a long time for a pool.
And so this looks like maybe this is what it looked like in 1907, this front desk area?
It is. It's exactly the front desk that was here then, because there was when we moved here, they had the bottom part of this covered with a red vinyl thing, and we took it off and we're like, "Wow, that's really pretty.
Yeah.
Let's leave it off."
And this is one of the original like ledgers. Can I pop back here with you?
Sure. So this is just so cool. I mean,
But this is from
1917.
yeah, people were here from Pittsburgh and
But
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
People even came from Uniontown, because it was somewhere to go. It was that people didn't travel like they do now.
These are like the original little cubbies for every key.
That's original. Yeah.
I really respect that you haven't gone to a key card system.
We really don't want to. We hope they don't make us do that. That's the way it was. It's the way it should be.
How many rooms are there?
We have 94 rooms.
And then over here, these are some of your famous sort of folks who came to visit.
Yes, this is Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, John Burroughs.
Were they like here to hang out?
They traveled together a lot, and they came through this area. They actually stayed at the summit twice. That was the clientele back then that would come to our hotel, so it's pretty special.
Yeah.
This was actually the manager's office when my father first came here, and he decided he didn't really need an office, he needed a bar. So he turned this into a bar, and I don't know what he probably went behind the desk, and he never sat at a desk. He wasn't that kind of manager. Yeah. He would come here in the morning, sometimes cook breakfast. He stayed here to the last check-in, and it was 7 days a week. Hardest worker I've ever known. Like I said, we had the social director, and people stayed here for a week, and we had all kinds of activities going on, and people even got trophies if they won something. We had a shuffleboard tournament, ping pong, but we had a raid the kitchen party on Sunday nights. And so it was, maybe I was starving then or something, but everybody be out here just waiting for raid the kitchen at 10 o'clock, and they would open these doors, and there'd be this big buffet with like all kinds of food on it, and just, it's a memory.
That's so cool. Where are we going? Oh my gosh, it feels like this is wild. So where are we?
Well, we're in the tower at the summit, and if you pull one of those curtains open, you'll be able to look at Uniontown. And it would be really cool if we could use this.
So did this used to be a room?
Well, when I came here, I think some of the bellmen, people that worked here, lived here. But even if to have a little party up here would be really fun.
Yeah.
But we can't do it.
Because there's no fire escape out here, so that's why you're not able to use this space. But what a beautiful view.
It would be fun. It'd make a nice honeymoon room.
Yeah. A little spooky up here.
Well, we've had ghost hunters that have come to see if we have ghosts, and they've never found anything. And
They haven't?
I've always told them, if there was a ghost here, it'd be my dad or my mother, and they would be good ghosts.
Yeah, it feels like those would be friendly ghosts to have around.
Yep.
It just goes on and on. It's amazing.
Yeah, so here are all of our pictures, history pictures. These are some old brochures. We used to have a lot of we still have a lot of honeymooners.
Yeah, Annie's parents honeymooned here, in the 80s at some point.
Yeah, I heard that. I wish we could find their signature, but we don't have those books anymore.
So up until the 1950s, they could take a train into Uniontown, and then someone would go pick them up and bring them up.
Yeah. And I remember when I was 16, I remember picking the same guy up at the railroad. Like every year he'd come to visit, and he still took the train. But I think he was the last of the train riders to the summit.
Yeah.
But there's so much to do in our area.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an amazing. That's why we're really only open in the summer, because the winter's getting milder. We were in the ski business twice. My father started skiing in 1967, and it was open for 2 years. We had a T-bar and a rope tow. It burned down, and we didn't have any insurance. Yeah. So we couldn't build it right back up again. But it was kind of funny because my dad stayed and made snow at night with his friend, probably had a couple beers, and they would go out and move the snowmaking equipment around to make the snow. And my mother would help put the skis on the people. And then I made the hot chocolate and sold the hot dogs.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing little family business.
Yeah, so it was fun.
So this is your dad in the
That was my dad, yeah. It was probably right when he first moved here. But that's how everybody used to dress. I love that photo. And most of the people lived here.
Where would they live?
There's a building across the street that we called Tumble Inn, and it would house the women on one side and the men on the other side. And so we had a lot of staff that just lived here.
And what's there now?
We saved the building, and now we're just trying to figure out if there's something that makes sense to do with it. This is the Edison Ballroom. We do a lot of weddings. We can do a wedding up to about 400 in here with hors d'oeuvres and bar service. We also use it in the summertime when we're busy for just dining for a hotel guest.
It's wild to think, it's like now the traffic is so loud, but at one point you'd slowly see a horse and wagon coming up the hill. That was sort of how you'd see people coming.
Exactly. I know. That's definitely changed.
Well, Karen, thanks so much for the tour, and I hope, there's another more than 100 years of, excitement to come here at the Summit Inn.
And you're very welcome. We really appreciate your coming to check us out.